You ever see your kid come home with a black eye and just know the world's gone off the rails? That's what hit me the day Nate stepped into our kitchen, silent, stiff blood on his lip and a yellow slip from school in his hand like it was evidence in a crime scene. They were suspending him for aggressive behavior. You want to know what that really meant? Wearing his black hoodie with my gym's logo, apparently that was enough to make him a threat to the entire school system, at least according to them, and the almighty HOA. Yeah, that happened. He got jumped by another kid, and somehow the blame landed on him because he looked intimidating. Only real threat that day was the one boiling up inside me. You know what I mean? Let me back up a sec. You grow up fighting for every inch you end up with this sense that you can protect your own, especially when you make a living teaching other people how to fight. But nothing I learned in the ring prepared me for the kind of war you get when the enemy wears a polite smile and carries a clipboard. First time I saw blood on Nate's face, I blamed the school, but by the second time I blamed myself for not seeing it coming, the bullying, the setup, the way these HOA folks weaponize everything from a mailbox to a rumor. I'm telling you, this wasn't some random bad luck. It was personal, a slow burn kind of war. Nate wouldn't even meet my eyes at first, just handed me that slip, stood there waiting for me to blow up. His mom, Rachel, dropped everything when she saw him. She rushed over, her hands gentle, her face just broken open with worry. Nate flinched away, more tired than scared, and right there, I felt something in me snap. "Who did this to you?" I asked, trying to keep it steady, but he just muttered Kevin. And that right there, that was all I needed to hear. Kevin, son of Karen Fenwick, president of the HOA neighborhood, dictator, queen of petty complaints, clipboard, always in hand. Karen's been after us since the day I hung my gym sign on our gate said it attracted the wrong crowd. Funny how that crowd turned out to be her own kid. Rachel's hands shook as she cleaned Nate up. "They're not even going to punish him, are they?" she whispered. I just shook my head because we both knew Karen wasn't interested in justice. She wanted us erased pure and simple. Next thing I know, 2 HOA enforcers show up at our door, one of them flashing that practice fake smile, the other standing there like some backup mall cop. They hand me a warning about the violent iconography on Nate's hoodie. Tell me to keep the peace in our community. I took the letter, shut the door in their face, and Rachel just sighed. They want you to swing. That's the whole game. She was right, and that's the hardest part, knowing that if you fight back, you're giving them what they want. That night my phone buzzed, no name, just a number. If he wears that hoodie again, we'll make sure he doesn't get up next time. I showed Rachel, and we just sat there in the quiet, feeling the walls close in a little more. You'd think a bruise fades fast, but the mark it leaves inside that sticks around. Nate moved quieter, kept his head down like he was trying to disappear. Rachel kept leaving him little notes in his lunch, drawing cartoons like she used to when he was 5. And my buddy Mike tried to cheer him up by rerouting the sprinklers to dye Karen's roses blue, but nothing really worked. The worst of it was when a video went viral in our little HOA group. Kevin and his friends cornering Nate, taunting him, calling him psycho, making him out to be the monster. Nate just stared at the screen, asked me, "Is that really how they see me?" And I swear I wanted to burn the whole neighborhood down. But instead, I hit the gym that night, punched the bag until my hands bled. Mike showed up with a flash drive, said, "You'll want to see this." Turns out he'd gotten his hands on security footage from a secret HOA meeting, Karen center stage, telling her board to create a pattern of disruption, make it impossible for us to defend ourselves, use public opinion like a weapon. Right then, I knew it wasn't just about Nate, it was about payback. Her husband lost a bundle betting against me in a fight years ago, and Karen never forgot. Just when I thought it couldn't get worse, Child Protective Services showed up at our door, all because Karen sent in an anonymous complaint. Rachel almost broke. She's the strongest person I know, but sitting through questions about our parenting, our home, whether I ever raised my voice, it just hollowed her out. CPS talked to Nate alone, and when he came back up, he was even smaller than before. That's the kind of attack you can't block with your fists. You ever feel like you're losing in slow motion? That was us. Letters piling up, anonymous notes, burner phones showing up in the mailbox, audio clips, edited to make me sound abusive. That's when I started building my own case, printing every threat, every fake complaint, organizing it all in a binder thick as a brick. Nate helped kid, built a little RC car with a camera, and Mike snuck it into the next HOA meeting and got Karen on tape, talking fraud, talking about moving HOA funds around before the city audit hit. We sent everything video, audio letters to the city, to local reporters, and then we walked straight into Karen's precious HOA gala with every receipt we had. Rachel walked in with her head held high, handed out folders stamped evidence. Mike airdropped the audio files to every phone in the room, and I plugged the video into the big screen. Karen's own words, her own voice, right there for everyone to see. Neighbors started standing up, sharing their stories, fines for compost bins, threats over mailboxes, Karen's empire crumbling in real time. Nate stood up, hoodie on hand steady, and handed a USB to the press, said, "You punish me for who my dad used to be, but we're not afraid of you." Karen tried to spin, but it was over. That night I taped a letter from the IRS to her mailbox, 2 words audit initiated. By the next morning, her face was plastered all over the local news. HOA president caught in secret audio scandal. The board resigned, the school called to apologize. Even the principal couldn't look me in the eye. For the first time in months, Nate walked to school without glancing over his shoulder, sat front row, passed his math quiz, wore his hoodie with pride. Funny thing is, winning doesn't feel like fireworks. It's quiet like a Tuesday morning where nobody's out to get you. I changed the motto at my gym, strength isn't what you hit with, it's what you stand for. And Nate painted the letters himself. Karen moved out, her kingdom gone, and her son, well, maybe he'll learn something new at his next school. But here's the thing, our retaliation file sits locked away, not out of hate, but as a reminder. I still find Nate in the garage, sometimes tinkering with that little RC car lens, always clean, always ready, and sometimes when I look at him, I realize he's not scared anymore, he's just awake. And maybe that's the best any of us can hope for. So let me ask you, what would you have done if your kid was targeted like mine? Was I right to fight back the way I did, or did I go too far? Where's the line between justice and revenge when the people with the power bend every rule? Drop your thoughts down below. Let's be real about it. Because in the end, it's not about who swings the hardest, but who stands their ground when everything's on the line.